Today I'm looking at cordless drills, and I had the question, hey, should you pick one battery line and just choose tools exclusively along that line? Or is it a good idea to mix and match based on the specific tool needs that you have? That's the topic. Let's get into it. So these are the drills we're looking at today. This Dewalt 20 volt is the kit drill. It's the DCD 771 with some modifications. More on that in a minute. And this is the Bosch, I have the worst time with these Bosch model numbers, GSB 18V-65. So this is a new drill with some kickback control, dual LED lights. It's a pretty nice drill. The reason I sought it out was because it actually has a hammer drilling function, which you can get on the XR system, but that one's quite a bit more expensive. In fact, this one with a battery and charger was actually less, and that's part of what steered me in this direction. Modifications, you say? Yeah, hardly anything in my shop is stock, and this Dewalt drill is now no exception. The original plastic chuck that came with it, I call it plastic, it's built with both metal and plastic components, but the original chuck on these kit drills really, I don't think, do that great of a job, especially compared to like an impact driver where it just clicks in and that hex bit is not going anywhere. The problem I had with this factory chuck is that the bits would frequently fall out, whether that was a hex style driver or a round drill bit or a faceted drill bit. It seemed like you'd drill 1 or 1.5 holes and blip, the bit would fall out on the table. So I got tired of that and I swapped it out for a metal Jacobs chuck. So there's the original one, and installed is that metal Jacobs version, and really lengthwise, size-wise, they're just about identical. It has kind of a knurled finish on there, and I just found it's easy to get a grip on. If I clutch it to approximately 13, it installs it with enough force that it's not going to fall out no matter what I do. So that was a pretty good upgrade for me, and it's one thing that made me notice the quality on this Bosch drill, because this one comes from the factory with a nice metal chuck, very similar to the one I upgraded to. So let's do this. Let's weigh up these tools. Now this may not be a true apples to apples comparison because this isn't the top of the line XR hammer drill, but it does have a 2 ampere hour battery and now has a metal chuck just like my Bosch. It looks like that one weighs in just about 3 pounds 8 ounces compared to the Bosch, which comes in right at 3 pounds 3 ounces. So a bit lighter on this model, and I think it is something you can feel in the hand. The ergonomics are good on both. The Bosch is a little bit taller, but it's also a little bit shorter, and I think that might be the critical dimension for getting into tight spaces. Overall length on the Dewalt is 8.5 inches versus on the Bosch we have an overall length of 7 inches. So who knows, that may be the difference of fitting into a tight space once you have your drill or your driver installed. Now that doesn't compete with any of the 18 or 20 volt impact drivers, which this one's just 5.5 inches. So that's probably the king of torque and getting into tight spaces. But again, we're looking at drill drivers, not impact drivers today. But since I brought it up, let's talk real quickly about the difference between an impact driver and a hammer drill. I think some people get those mistaken and they think one will do the same as the other, and that's totally not the case. I've seen videos where people tested a hammer drill to see how fast it can drive screws in the hammer mode, and that's not at all what it's for. A hammer drill has a longitudinal impact along the length of the drill bit, which gives it a chipping action to make it faster for drilling concrete and masonry. Versus an impact driver, regardless of brand, will have a rotational impact, and that gives it an advantage with much more torque for driving screws or just loosening a stubborn fastener. So I guess my main point is don't be fooled to thinking that this is an impact driver. It's not. It's a regular drill driver with the added benefit of being a hammer drill. Nice. So I've completely changed my mindset on this. Originally I thought just stick with one battery line and add tools as you need that way, and that's still a good approach, but lately I've found that if the particular tool that you need is outside of that battery line, sometimes just getting one complete kit with a battery and charger is enough, and then if you add a bare tool, you can use one battery and operate several tools. You don't have to have 2 or 3 batteries like I do on my old system. So a lot of different good ways to go, but drop me a note in the comment section if you have particular thoughts on that. Hit me with a like if you enjoy this topic, and consider subscribing to The Thoughtful Woodworker.